Hello, patrons. It is me, John Lorden.
And it is me, Danielle Hallen, and welcome back to the place where we love to overshare.
Yes, yeah. Get ready for way too much detail from Crime After Crime. No, we are back. This is the July Patreon special for July 2019. Hope you had a nice 4th of July. Hope everyone was safe. Hopefully you listened to the episode of Crime After Crime and heard our tips and you avoided some of those pitfalls. When I was looking into cases for this month, I was running into so much information about there is like major crime spikes that happen on the 4th of July. And I was running into information about, of course, obvious things like, you know, people that are getting hurt because there's too much alcohol, or that's turning into violent confrontations. And then people have guns because it's the 4th of July and they want to, you know, shoot guns on the 4th of July. And then those are rolling into really bad situations. But I was also surprised to hear that, did you notice the trend of articles about truck driving and protecting your freight?
I saw that. I didn't end up reading into any of them because I was so confused by it. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But I definitely did. What did it say? I didn't hear.
Yeah, I ran into this big thread, and it was, you know, not just one website, it was multiple websites all talking about this. And essentially, when the 4th of July happens close to a weekend, the trucks usually get stored somewhere, and, you know, the person that's driving the truck goes off to celebrate with their family. Well, the thieves know this. So they're robbing the cargo from these trucks specifically on the 4th of July. And it really spikes when the 4th of July happens close to the weekend. I was just really surprised. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, spikes in all kinds of different crime on the 4th of July.
Which I can totally see, because if you think about it, a lot of people are out of town. So there's going to be a lot more home invasions. And I can completely see it. Yeah. People don't think about it, though. Just like everyone loses their pets on the 4th of July, too, which I don't like that either.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. My poor cats just get terrified when, you know, all the fireworks sound. And it's weird because some of them handle it better than others. One of our cats in particular, Shelby, he just gets ridiculously terrified. Of course, he's the one we brought from California. Not that they didn't have fireworks out there, but now he's got, he's got lightning and thunder to contend with out here. So the chill California kitty is not handling it too well.
No, my dog can't even handle. We open the back door, and if she hears the slightest breeze, she's like, and I'm like, honey, it's okay. It's the wind. Calm down.
Now, is this a guard dog? Is this a dog that's supposed to protect you and your family?
She is, and she does. She's actually chased thieves away before.
Wow.
on the topic she has. She chased them through the woods. But wind,
well, maybe
she's
got PTSD from, you know, actually facing some danger, and now whenever she hears the wind, she's ready to go.
Very possible.
We have to call out a hero. What's the name of this dog?
Honda. Yeah, I actually named her because I didn't know what to name her for the longest time. And she's a blue-nosed pit bull. And I had a Honda Accord, a silver Honda Accord at the time. And they were basically the same color. And I was like, why not?
Keep it real simple for yourself, Danielle. I love it. Simple living. I know.
Yeah. There we go.
When are you starting the Simple Living podcast with Danielle Hallen?
Look, I've got lots of easy tips for you. So whenever you guys want it, let me know.
Maybe we'll have to roll that into these Patreon specials at the end of every episode.
Tips with Danielle.
Yeah, here's your simple living tip with Danielle Hallen. Oh, and she had to show off, of course, with the Crime After Crime mug she just brought into the scene. Yeah.
I have to take it when I can. We're doing great, though. We're tit for tat here.
Can you believe that? 5 and 5. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know if we're going to have a winner when we get to the first anniversary show, because it could go 6 and 6. Don't? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're both losers then, Danielle.
If we can't win, we're going to lose.
Absolutely.
Losing together.
So it is July, and I'm here with my questions for Danielle. We're going to pry into her life some more. Danielle, what's your favorite summertime activity now that we're in the middle of it here?
It's really actually hard for me to pick one because I thrive in the summer. Like, I was distraught the other day when it was summer solstice, because that means that, you know, it's getting darker earlier, slowly but surely, and then that means fall's coming, and then that stresses me out. So I really thrive in the summer. But I think probably my favorite thing is to go to the beach. And anyone who knows me at this point knows I'm constantly at the beach. Like anyone that follows my Instagram, every picture I ever post, I'm at the beach. My kids are at the beach or we're at the pool. I just love the fact that I can constantly be outside. We just redid our entire back patio for my birthday. It's a month early, but I refuse to not enjoy the rest of summer.
What a good husband.
I know. I love being outside. As long as I'm outside, I'm good to go.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because I'm not much of a water or a summer person. You know, part of the enjoyment that I've had in terms of living in California and now living in Minnesota is I actually like the seasons changing. I like that it only lasts for a certain period of time. It kind of makes it more special. I guess the one thing that I do in summers in particular is there's this nearby town called Stillwater, and it's a little bit of a kind of like a tourist trappy kind of town, but
my favorite kind of place.
Yeah. It's got like 3 blocks of what looks like a downtown Main Street Anywhere USA type thing, and you know, different shops you can go into and different bars and weird candy stores and all kinds of stuff like that. But it's also right on a river. And on the other side of that river is Wisconsin. And it's just a real beautiful view there. They've got this kind of classic bridge. It's called a lift bridge because a section of it literally rises up so the boats can go, not just a split in the middle, but one section in particular just completely lifts up so the boats can go under it. Just a great place to hang out. So very frequently I'll get down there during the summer. And of course,
you can't do it when it's just dumping snow.
I was just going to say, during the winter, it's not like, hey, let's go to Stillwater. It's just never, ever comes up. So that is one of the things that's a little special. But yeah, I definitely know just in terms of working with you, it's coming up on a year now. Working with you regularly, the only times where I can't really get a hold of you is if you're at the beach.
The truth. Because I'm being so serious, man. I go to the beach. That's like my escape. I delete every app possible off of my phone. I usually don't even touch my phone. I was actually going to tell you, because I'm going to the beach in a couple of days.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
4th of July. I was going to tell you, if you need me, just text me because I am not getting on Twitter. I am not checking my emails.
Good for you.
I'm
nice
not
to
doing
unplug. Yeah. No, I'm gonna take a little downtime also in case you guys can catch on. We actually record this earlier in the month, so we haven't quite gotten to the 4th ourselves. But I know, you've got plans. I've got plans. Hopefully everything will be smooth and I won't need to reach out to you. But if I do, now I know.
Text me and that's it. Otherwise, I'll be gone.
Yep. All right. So hope everyone out there is enjoying whatever you guys like to do for the summer. Danielle, I also was curious. I did an interview. It was kind of a strange interview for me because it was on this UK show called Smile Radio. And it was with a life coach. And she just really wanted to hear about kind of my personal journey in terms of where my career had gone before YouTube and, you know, how I kind of pivoted into this. And it was a really cool conversation. So I kind of wanted to do that a little bit with you and just ask, what's the biggest turning point that you've had in your life where things have kind of changed for you or brought you in a new direction? And
it's a good question. Probably when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter because, you know, I was in hair school at the time and I had very, very different plans for my life. And I wanted to live in New York City and I wanted to work for like runway shows and do all these crazy things. And then I had my daughter and ended up not getting a job in hair and I was just kind of at home. And I'm happy about that because I realized for the past couple of years, I'd been pushing myself towards doing something that I never actually was passionate about. I was doing it because I felt like I had to do it. And I'd actually started off in criminal justice. That's what I started going to school for. And then I quickly had to switch career paths because life changed and I felt like I was doing a lot of stuff just because I had to.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that completely changed things. I realized I did not have the passion for hair I thought I did. I was happy I didn't end up where I was planning on being and ended up pointing me directly back to here. Yeah. Where I am now, which was back to criminal justice, you know, type of things and working on missing persons cases and, Yeah, so it was interesting. I hadn't even, I think, connected the dots before that I was just doing things to please other people. And I think I kind of had this idea in my mind, and I was still on the path of where I wanted to make people feel good about themselves, and I wanted to help somebody and do what I could, but I was totally missing the target on where my heart wanted to be. So yeah, crazy. That's what happens when you're a stay-at-home mom and you end up sitting around for a really long time thinking.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to go through a period of I think what other people would consider downtime to kind of figure out the new direction. I went through something similar. Before this, I was working in technology. I was an IT guy for entertainment companies mostly. I worked at 20th Century Fox for like 6 years. I worked with Cirque du Soleil. I worked with TV Guide. And it was actually the Cirque du Soleil job where things were changing for me, and I just felt it. And it was like, this is the end of this IT thing. I need to push into something else. And I had always, even when I was working at 20th Century Fox, I started working there at I think I was 20. Or literally just turning 21.
Wow.
My boss at the time said, if we knew how young you were, we would have never hired you. But I got in. I know. I looked a bit older than my age at the time. I was a little bit heavier and I wasn't really healthy. So it was just a different place. I guess it worked to my advantage because I got to work at Fox. But it was weird because even doing that, it wasn't exactly what I was going for. I wanted to work at Fox, but I wanted to be in production of some kind.
Yeah.
I wanted to either be behind the camera or be, like a production assistant on a show, like some type of regular gig. I got married really young, so I had the responsibility of I have to be making regular money, and it has to be a decent amount because I've got this household that I need to keep up. But I definitely went down the track that you're talking about of just doing what I felt like the pressure was leading me to instead of what do I really want to do. And that's where Cirque du Soleil, actually, we were working on this big show in downtown Hollywood. It was at it was known as the Kodak Theater back then, but now it's a Dolby Theater. It's where the Oscars usually happen.
Yeah.
So it was this really, for me, I was just eating it up. I loved being part of this kind of special group of people that could go backstage, and my office was literally steps away from the stage at the Dolby, and you had to get by security and everyone knew who you were. It was just this really fun thing, but the show didn't do so hot. They weren't selling enough tickets and the show closed down. And it was after that where I was really just like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the universe saying you're at a spot right now where you can make a change and go in a different direction. And I really just had to buckle down, kind of refigure out my finances so that I could go for a couple years without being the main breadwinner or having that responsibility, and just try to put all my effort into the YouTube thing. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I stuck it out too, because, when you come from a lifetime, decades of working a day-to-day job and making more and more money. I was making a ridiculous amount of money at one point, but you're also burning it almost as fast as you're making it. Just your life expands.
Relatable.
To this, yeah. It's just your life grows to consume, whatever you're pulling into it in some weird way. So that was the big pivot for me. I'm really thankful that I worked for that company because they were so open about their creative processes.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, I just soaked all that up. And as the show was shutting down, all of a sudden people were coming to me and saying, "Hey, John, we want to do some like backstage videos and stuff like that. And, we've got all these cameras and all this equipment here, but I don't know how to edit. Like, do you know how to edit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing this for a couple years, just little projects here and there."
Yeah.
So I was teaching people how to edit, and we're doing all these goofy backstage kind of sketches and, just getting the life of what backstage life was like at that point. So it kind of spun me in that direction of, I really like this type of work. I like having resources and actually pulling projects together like this, and people keep coming to me for it. So there has to be some way for me to flip this into YouTube. And I'm just really thankful I did. And I know you went through a similar thing as I did in terms of playing around with your format, right? Once you got on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's what's so almost interesting to me, that both of our stories are they're different, but they're so similar, because we each had like this part of us where we were basically trying to do what we're doing now, but just kind of in like a different form. Like we had a piece of us there.
Yeah.
And I've actually been making YouTube videos since, I've mentioned this before, I was in high school. I mean, this is like 2008, 2009, right when YouTube was first created.
Yeah.
I was making YouTube videos and I loved the creative process. And, you know, I think it's fascinating that I had strayed, you know, I started at YouTube, wanted to go into criminal justice, never thought to put the two together, and then strayed away from that to still doing something for others, but then knew it wasn't quite right, and then ended up, you know, putting a lot of the things that I love all together. Life is weird and crazy. Yeah, it's so strange, but
it certainly is.
You know,
well, even when I got into YouTube, though, it took a while to deprogram that desire to do things for other people. Because even when I showed up on YouTube, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to do some like movie reviews because that's what I see. And that's what I think people would want to hear from someone that's been working in the entertainment industry for all these years. And, you know, I'm really into geek culture. So I guess I'm going to do some geek culture stuff because I think that's what people see me for. That's why my channel name at the time was even Geek and Dorks, because I'm just like, you know, people have been calling me a dork my whole life, and I know I'm a geek, and I'm going to fuse these things together. So it was weird. Even when I came into YouTube, I was still doing that of trying to be what I thought the world wanted to see me be. And
absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about the format, though, is it's so light and you can pivot. And that's where, you know, all of a sudden I'm doing an episode that doesn't fit all of that. And I'm talking about this case I'm really passionate about. And all of a sudden people start watching and the subscribers start going up. And it's like, whoa, wow, this is a real...
Exactly, because I started out, I think once I kind of decided I needed some creative outlet before I really realized what I wanted to do, I was vlogging. I was just showing my family. I was showing what I was doing. I was going through a lot mentally after having kids. And then that's, again, I was like, you know what? Like I told Pal, I was like, I want to go back to school. I want to finish my criminal justice career. I want to, you know, I want to go and do this. But I was like, but it's going to take a while and I don't want to lose YouTube. So like, what can I do? And I was like, what if I put them together? And then it's interesting because as soon as I told him that is when I actually stumbled upon the first ever video, true crime video that I'd ever seen. And I was like, you mean people are doing this? And I was like, done, sold. I am doing it. I didn't know if anyone watched it. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just went for it because I knew it would make me happy, because I knew I wasn't just creating, you know, just random content. I was doing something that I knew made me happy, satisfied my soul, and helped others. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah. That's such a big part of it. It's really a huge part of it for me. And like when we were at CrimeCon and, you know, people are thanking you for coverage they've done, or people are coming up and trying to share new stories with you because, you know, they have injustices in their personal lives and they know that you have an audience for this thing. It is really a special thing. Yeah. Well, now that we've talked about all this, if your life was a book, not a YouTube video, but a book, what would the title be? What's happening? Not your personal life, your professional. No, I'm just kidding.
Still, what's happening? I feel like my life is constantly me saying that. Like, I mean, the craziest things happen to me. We've already talked about it on here a few times. I mean, I've been hit by a car. I've had the craziest things happen to me. Yep. Just last night, for example, I was taking a walk and someone had parked their walker like in a parking spot. Why? I have no idea. It's still there. I don't know who it belongs to. And then further on in my walk, when I'm thinking how strange the world is, I look and see this like mound of something behind a bush. And when I look closer, it's a bunch of avocados. This is just, I mean, these are the things that happen in my daily life. It's like the time when I looked out the window and there's just, what was it? Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting the name of it. A peacock. There's just a peacock standing outside of my window.
Oh, really?
It ended up on our roof. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. What's happening? I have no idea what's happening, but it is happening. So I'm just rolling with it.
It's like that time you couldn't figure out a good name for your dog and you decided to go with Honda.
Yep, exactly.
What's happening?
What's happening? We don't know, but we're doing it anyways.
I think mine would be, are we there yet? Mm-hmm. I think it's just such, for me, there was this weird feeling that I had early on in life that I was supposed to be doing something, like I was supposed to be in the entertainment field. And I don't know if this is part of living in California. I can tell you it's pretty,
Probably.
It's a pretty strong thing in California. There's kind of this desire, and it's really easy to fall into circles of other people that want to be directors or producers or actors. And everyone kind of has something like that going. I even knew people that were working at 20th Century Fox, working as attorneys, making tons and tons of money, writing spec scripts.
Oh, wow.
Still trying to get into production for themselves. And I remember talking to one attorney at one point, and he's talking to me about some idea he has, for a movie or something like that. And I'm like, well, go for it, man. I mean, look, you're working here. You've got all these connections. Make it happen. And he's like, I can't, man. I'm just past. He's like, my life at this point, it's too big. The paycheck means too much to it. I'm never going to be able to do that stuff.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of had the messages very early on that if I was going to do something like that, I had to get out of that game of absorb resources here, throw them out the window over here, like just keep this machine going. But I still, like, even looking at this year, I'm so happy I've hit some personal goals. Like, I really wanted to present somewhere. And I did the presentation at the Cold Case Conference. Yeah. And then you and I presented at the PI experience. So it's like, wow.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, now I'm like, wow, I wanted to do that. And all of a sudden this year, and it's here, and I did it. And even looking over the past year, I really wanted to collaborate with other people. And we put this together, and I've got 3 Men and a Mystery. And we've got this whole community of people now that I could call up at any moment and say, hey guys, I've got this project idea. You want to work on this? And looking a year ago, I didn't have any of that. Yeah. So it's this weird thing where it feels different now because I do feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And there's just these little things that I want to add to that. And it seems to be coming my way. Before, when I had the older dream of, I wanted to be on a sitcom or I wanted something like that, I never felt this fulfilled. I always felt like it was this big thing that was way over the wall and down the road and up a mountain.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I just never knew if I was going to get there. So, that's where I think I'm at with my book. There's still aspects. I want to help people so badly. Yeah. That, I know there's more I can do. Every now and then, like even you and I don't know if we've talked about this anywhere, but we had 2 production people come up to us when we were doing the PI experience. We actually had, you weren't at the table, I don't think I told you this, but a girl that came by and visited us that works for a production company back in 2018 at CrimeCon. She came back in 2019 to our table again.
Oh, wow. I totally missed that.
Yeah, you weren't
Me
there.
and my what's happening?
I know. What's happening? And I'm asking, are we there yet? And even that, like this year, like last year in 2018, we were kind of like, no. This year, I'm kind of like, is there some way that I can make this help someone? Like, is there some opportunity I'm missing here? Because I've got cases where I'm trying to do more for the families, but I don't always have all the resources to do that. Should I really look at something like this again and say, you know what, I need to talk to that development person and see if we could put a show together that solves this problem for those people? Yep. That's where my brain is with all this. And that's why I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but I know I'm happy where I'm at.
See, me too. And that's why I'm saying what's happening, because I don't know what's happening, but I'm ready for it and I'm winging it. And you know what? That really is the perfect description. It kind of goes hand in hand with the are we there yet?
Yeah.
It does, because it's the same exact thing for me. I always felt this pressure. I was always like, what's happening? I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing. Why am I not seeing the results that I want to see? Right. And then once I just started going with the flow and doing what I knew felt right in the moment, things started coming together a lot better.
Oh yeah,
A lot
yeah.
better.
Sometimes you can plan your dreams to death, like quite literally. And I went through that for years and years and years. But I'm really happy that I saw through that and was able to get to this point. And then once the YouTube thing started clicking, all of a sudden the whole California lifestyle, and California is actually marketed. Like the idea of California.
Oh
is,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a marketing item. But once all this came together, all of a sudden I was getting what I needed. I'm like, I'm in front of the camera if I want to be in front of the camera. I'm editing if I want to do editing. Whatever I want to do with this format, I've got it all here.
You can do
And
it.
I don't have to be in California to do it.
Look at you go. We're over
Yeah.
here problem solving our lives one day at a time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, big thank you to YouTube for allowing that.
I know, really. Seriously.
Yeah, despite all the issues I have with being demonetized, a big thank you to YouTube for at least giving us a platform to grow and develop audiences like this.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I think it's time that we thank several new patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support, for helping to keep Crime After Crime ad-free for season 1, which we're talking might change in season 2. We don't know yet. We kind of need to grow the show. We did certain things with it in this first year that I think were amazing. We might need to change up the formula a little bit for season 2. So I'm just putting that out there because you're our closest supporters and I don't want you guys surprised at any point about anything like that. But a big thank you to new patrons, starting with Gulser Osak.
That's how I would say it. Osak. I would say
Osick?
it like it's a...
Maybe
Ooh,
Osick.
that's a good one.
Gulser Osick. I've just changed the pronunciation of your name, Gulser, just in case. But thank you so much for your support.
And then a huge thank you to Jenny Moore.
Thank you to Sana Ran. And I know you have supported me on several different places, so I just wanted to give you a very special thank you.
And another huge thank you to Moms and Murder. We had the luxury of meeting them at CrimeCon.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nice ladies and a pretty funny sense of humor, too. They had lost a cardboard chicken and it became the crime at CrimeCon.
It sure was. He's been held for ransom.
Yeah. There was pictures being sent to one of the hosts with the cardboard chicken being held for ransom. Big thank you to Nicole Whaling.
And another thank you to Sharon Ayers.
That's it for our new patrons. That's it for this Patreon special. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hope you guys have a wonderful July. We'll see you back on August 1st with a brand new Crime After Crime, and then again in the middle of the month where we get to hang out, just have some special time with you guys. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.